It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Welcome to Confidence in Bloom, the podcast that reminds you that confidence isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming home to yourself. I'm your host, Tina Spoletini, and this season we're embracing the theme, End of Year, Beginning of Me, a time to pause, reflect, and let go of what no longer serves you. Together, we'll explore real stories and soulful insights to help you quiet that itty-bitty shitty committee, release the shoulds that weigh you down, and step into the new year grounded in self-love, clarity, and confidence. Let's begin today's conversation. Today, I'm talking with Carrie. Carrie the Connector is what we all know her as, Carrie Doucette. Carrie, affectionately known as Carrie the Connector, believes in the magic that happens when we lift each other up. A natural storyteller and community builder, she's known for creating spaces where authenticity and encouragement flourish. Her work celebrates the beauty of real connection, reminding us that confidence grows strongest when we grow together. Welcome, Carrie.
Hello.
I'm super, super excited for this because I know that you have I'm going to say a bold personality, and I hope you don't take offense to that. And when I say bold, I mean when you're in a room, your presence is felt, right? Like you just have that personality.
Totally. I can't tell you the number of rooms I go into and not even in the room 5 minutes. And someone will come up to me and say, "Oh my God, I love your energy." Like, I get that comment almost every single time I'm in a room.
Yeah.
So I know it. Yeah, my presence is felt. I don't even necessarily have to say anything. It's just I always make an entrance.
Yeah, and it's not like, okay, some people don't like that. Like some people, if they're, especially people that are not in the mood for lots of connection, right? Because that happens, right? You can be in a room and not really feel like being in the room. But when you walk in, like you wear bold colors, and you don't even necessarily have to like open your mouth and start talking. You just have this, like this high energy, like you said, this presence that is just so apparent. And so I've been told I have that same kind of energy. I don't know that it's the same as yours. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're the same kind of person. I don't wear big, bright, bold colors like you're wearing right now. Carrie's wearing like big fuchsia glasses with a fuchsia turtleneck. Like she looks like the sun, really. Like you just look so bright and energy and So I want to ask you a few questions that we're ending the year of 2025 and heading into a new year. And at this time of year, lots of people are talking about like their year end and how this year went and how next year is going to go. I want to know something from you. What was one lesson or one shift that's kind of helped you redefine what success and connection mean to you?
This year has been there's always a lot of lessons. I think that's something I've learned throughout time is that, you can be going through the worst challenging time and it's hard to see the opportunity when that lesson is presenting itself. But really and truly, I always try and sit back and kind of like take things in. So as much as I am as a talker, I'm really a very good observer as well. So I observe how people are with other people. And so a big part of that for me this year is just knowing when to stop. And so that's been a big thing for me, because I'm go all the time. But I've just realized that I don't need to do that. And sometimes I do too much and I don't mean to, but my heart is always in everything that I do. So it's really hard for me to not kind of take over sometimes. So I've really kind of tried to make a backseat and go, okay, this isn't my event. I don't need to if someone asks for an opinion or asks for something, totally different. But I shouldn't just be putting information out there unless I'm asked.
Right. And that sort of kind of defines the connector part of your title, right?
Totally.
I mean, it's not just about, here, Mary, I want you to meet Susie. That's not necessarily the connection, right?
No.
But it's also having your hands in the dirt at all times, right?
Totally.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of like that, though, I'll be honest. So I found I was like that when, like, in my early 20s. I wanted to be a part of everything. And then when my kids got older and started, well, not older, but when they were school age and they started going into activities and, they were asking for parent volunteers, I had this aha moment that I don't want to know what's going on behind the scenes, right? Like, I really don't want to be a part of, all the gossip and the crap that goes on, right?
I have no place for gossip, drama. I'm in my late 40s. I have no room for that in my life.
Yeah.
So if you're going to bring that to me, I see yourself out, because I have no time.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I had to sort of put a stop to that because I wanted to be involved. I wanted to be a part of, doing, like, putting an event together or, creating whatever. But then I had to deal with all the school age stuff, right? From the adults. And I was like, that's not what I want. I want my daughter to enjoy whatever it is that she's doing, or my son, or whatever activity we were working on. So I had to take a step back, and I'm like, that will never happen for me again. Right. So, and I really admire people that can, like yourself, get into the nitty gritty of the event planning and putting together, and be able to block and set a boundary for, I'm not in the gossip. I'm not in the garbage. I don't want that.
Not interested in it. I'm so focused when I'm doing something. And so, like, I literally make it, if I'm helping somebody with an event, I can literally take care of all the details. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want to execute, how you want the thing to feel, so that it's your event, but I'm able to execute it in your voice and just have it be seamless.
Yeah. And that's super important.
You don't know there's an issue, because there's so many people that do event planning and have no plan B. And it's like, you always got to have a plan B.
Oh, yeah.
And like, they fall apart second things don't go to, I'm like, you just roll with the punches. It's like, my advice to brides. I'm like, not everything's going to go the way you want it to, but this is one day, and you want your marriage to last longer than that. And don't sweat the small stuff.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, if you plan something and it doesn't happen, you're the only one who knows it doesn't happen.
Totally. Exactly.
Of course, if the groom doesn't show up at the altar, that's something different, right? But you can't plan that either, right? Like, if you're planning the wedding or the party, you can't plan everything.
No.
So let's talk about confidence a little bit.
Sure.
What does authentic branding look like for women who are ready to step into a new chapter, either personally or professionally?
I think just being real with yourself, right? And I think sometimes that takes a little bit of soul searching. But I know for me, a big part of that has been finding the right networking groups, because there's lots of groups out there, but they're not for everybody. So I'm not a BNI girl. And I know that BNI works really well for some people, and I'm not taking anything away from that, but it's just not it's not my jam.
Yeah.
Especially as an independent entrepreneur, it's me. It's me. So I don't have time to go and have coffee with 6 people that I probably wouldn't have coffee with if they weren't somebody I would associate with on a regular basis. I really do things that are very heart aligned. So, like, I really need to align with clients in order to actually do business with them. If we don't align, then I just know it's not going to be a good match energetically. So then why bother?
Yeah. And I think, so what I'm feeling from you right now is it's about community, right? BNI does not give you that sense of community that it gives to others, right?
Absolutely.
And so I officially belong to 3 different communities that are part of, like, a networking community. But they have, what I like about them is they're not just about networking. They have events, they have masterminds, they have, like, social events, they put on retreats, like, and you can be a part of all of it or very few of it, right? Like, that's, for me, that is more beneficial, right? I've been to a couple BNI meetings. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even remember what they were like. I went as a guest.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not here to talk about the different communities we could belong to, but I think it's more about, that finding that community that is going to support you and give you the resources that you're going to need over your time, whether it's in business or, because networking isn't just about business. Like, would you agree?
No, well,
Yeah.
And honestly, so you may or may not know, but I belong to Womenation. The nice thing about Womenation is there's no membership fee. You're just paying for lunch. You participate in what you want, but like the saying goes, you get what you give, right? So if you're not going to come all the time, you can't expect everybody's going to be ringing your phone just because you came to 3 meetings. Like, that's right. Like, you really need to put more into it. And so, yeah, many of the women and I meet outside of that meeting space, but the consistency of being in that meeting space constantly has really opened the doors to my business blossoming. And I so appreciate that. And I love the female entrepreneur. We're all in the same mindset. We're not in competition with each other, even when we do the same kind of work.
Right.
Because it's not about that. It's about that feeling of connection and feeling of support. And I really find that with that group, it really does it for me. However, I love going to the coffee with the chamber as well. It's a totally different niche. There's a lot of people. It's a lot more overwhelming than it was 25 years ago when I started going, because it was like 30 people. Now it's like 300 or 500.
Holy.
Oh, crazy. It's crazy. But my key to going to networking events like that is find a person that you haven't seen in a while or someone that you wanted to connect with. Go and chat with that person and then find out from them who they think you need to meet based on what your connection is. So when I go to a networking meeting, it's never about me. It's about, okay, what can I do for this person? Who can I connect that person with? And who can they connect me with, where it's going to be actually beneficial, not just talk.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to touch a little bit on what you said about, meeting other women or like others in the same industry as you. When you're in a networking meeting and you're sitting beside someone who is basically doing the same work that you're doing, like whether it's like life coaching or, a connector like yourself or, any of the other industries that, us entrepreneurs are in, sometimes that person can become your best friend, right? She doesn't have to be your competition, even if you're doing exactly the same kind of work, because we all have our own, systems and our own ways, right? Like, I know, like, rapport is a big deal, right? Like, we need to hold rapport with a person that we're talking to. And sometimes, you and I could be talking to the same person and that person will connect more with you over me, right? And so we need to consider that as well, right? We need to, take into consideration we're not here for everyone.
Totally. Yeah. It's not, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay.
Exactly.
Because there's and there's so much, like, we're in a big city, not to mention being in the field of social media now, like, your reach is far greater than you possibly could.
Exactly.
Especially if you're putting in the effort to do engagement, which is always my piece of advice for people. You can have the prettiest social medias out there, but if you aren't doing the engagement and the networking, it's kind of pointless.
It's not doing it any good for you. Yeah, exactly. And we're also working, like, we might be competing with the person sitting beside us, but our I guess it's called a network. The people that we can help and work with, we're in a world now where we can work with people all over the world.
100%. Yeah.
Right.
I had a conversation with somebody actually out of Milan, Italy, out of Milan last year. And I thought, like, when would I ever have the opportunity? And then even wearing a different hat, I worked for Nurse Next Door at one time and in their public relations. And we actually had a translator from China there because they wanted to kind of have their nurses kind of trained by our organization.
Oh, wow.
What is that, right? Like,
right.
my wildest dreams did I ever think I'd be having conversations with people all like across.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like I posted on Monday, I was at a networking meeting that was held in the States, I think in Denver, and I met a lady there who lives in Turkey.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, wow. And she actually just called me this morning and I was like, okay, this is super cool. Right.
Yeah,
Now, of
totally.
course, for someone like me, whoever I'm talking with has to speak English. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but I mean, English is all over the world. Not every single person talks English, but every
Yeah.
community has English. Right. And so, yeah. And so, I mean, that's just the power of, technology, number one.
Absolutely.
And the world we're living in today, right?
Totally.
I want to talk a little bit about storytelling. So, I mean, we all know that, you get to know people through their stories.
Yes.
How do you think that storytelling can help women on their journeys, especially when, we're transitioning, reinventing, or just starting fresh in this new year?
Yeah, that authenticity in vulnerability is so important. And I think a lot of people shy away from, well, this is what I used to do. And I don't really want to talk about that. But your story is about who you are. Like I got laid off 3 times during during the pandemic. So over like 5 years, I was laid off, or within, well, a year and a half, I was laid off 3 times. So, so it's a matter of being resilient, right? And it's just like, and my network has been as such, I've barely had to apply for a job in the last 20 years. That's saying something, right? So it's the power of connection is huge. And so during that time, I really played into my LinkedIn and being connected that way. And even just putting out positive messaging, because it was really hard, especially being in the healthcare field, because you had to know what was going on, but it sucked your soul, right? Like get all that information. And then everyone's coming at you with, well, what do you think about the vaccinations? Whether you want to or don't want to is completely up to you. I am not that person. You and I could have completely different political views. I'm never going to try and put my view on you. I might tell you why I think what I think, but I'm never going to try and influence you to think the way that I think.
I know. I remember having those conversations like, don't ask me what I think because you may not want to hear it.
No, right? Like, and at the end of the day, I chose to get vaccinated because I like traveling and I wasn't going to have to stay in place. That just was who I was, right?
Yeah.
Again, those stories are like, people want to get to know you. And I think a lot of people think, well, like, because I always tell you need to do a video and they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, they don't have to be perfect and polished. This isn't TV. You're not doing a commercial, right? So I'm just be who you are. 30 seconds about customer.
It's funny that you're using that.
Is, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny that you're using that as an example right here because I don't do videos. I don't want to. And I don't know. I mean, obviously, if I really dig deep enough, I can figure out why I don't want to, but I don't want to. And I think, why am I being so stubborn about this? Like everyone else is doing it, right?
Yeah.
And they know that they're not exactly perfect because none of us are, right? If you and I get on a call like on Zoom, I mean, I'm going to show up as I am. Why can't I do that on Facebook and social media? I don't get it, right? But it is what it is, right? And I mean, we can talk that. I mean, I know we could talk about, how to get yourself on social media for a long time, right?
It just don't be afraid to be vulnerable, and people actually appreciate that authenticity more than anything else.
More than anything, and it's true. Yeah,
I think that's why I connect well with people, because I am an open book. I am who I am. I don't make apologies for it. This is me, and like it, hate it, don't whatever you want to be in the room with me, great. And if not, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But I'll even find when I'm going to networking events, sometimes the energy is just too much for me. And so I'm getting out of the room like the earliest, or sometimes I'm there even later because I've just really connected really well with them.
Yeah. But and I think we can all relate with that, right? Because sometimes we feel that, sometimes it is too much. And then sometimes it's like, you know what, I kind of just want to go home. I'm done here. Yeah, I get that. So you're known for creating spaces where authenticity and encouragement flourish. What are the key ingredients that you bring to building community, number one, and also what lifts us all together.
I think just like finding out what somebody's story is, thinking like about how I can help them connect with others. Even this morning, I was chatting with one of the ladies from Women Issue who's kind of just started, and I'm just like, wait a second. I'm like, I've got a client, a couple people that I think that I could connect you with, right? Like you don't necessarily think, well, how could these connect? But they do. So it's making those introductions. And so like, and I don't get paid to do those introductions, but I do them very regularly because I think it's important, right? And it just because somebody isn't in your industry doesn't mean you can't collaborate with them.
No. And that's part of supporting, right? Like supporting your fellow woman, right? Like what is wrong with that?
Well, and it's getting different eyes on your page, right? Yeah. So even though you might do completely different things, I'm sorry, it's called Marketing 101. It like the more different types of people you can get looking at your stuff, the better. That was the whole point of hashtags back in the day, is so that you could get different communities looking at things. Now they've kind of gone the way of the dodo bird. We can still use them a little bit, but you certainly don't need 30 hashtags on things.
Right. Yeah. So now, like we've kind of talked about how, women entrepreneurs, not that we said they often feel like they're competing, but it's kind of a known thing, right? Women often feel that if we're doing the same business, we're competing against each other. Yeah. How do you turn that? You are the queen of collaboration and connection. And how can you turn that into like a real business growth for women instead of them feeling like I'm just competing with everyone out there?
So I'll often, especially when somebody's newer to the industry, I'll often kind of take that person on their right wing, go out for a coffee with them and like, just find out more about who they are and like maybe who I could connect with them with, because again, not everyone's going to be your customer. And I think knowing, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what my niche is. Everyone's my niche. And it's like, no, everyone's not your niche. Who do you want to work with? And it took me a long time to figure that out. But I connect really well with women. And so that's usually who I connect with. I have a couple clients that are men as well. But like, they really need to trust what they're doing. And just know that it's okay that we do things differently. And I find it's almost like having like masterminds when you do get to meet up, because it's like, what are you doing? What's working well for you? What do you find that, isn't working well for you? Oh, what could you do differently? Or, oh, you know what? Maybe you should come to this meeting or that meeting, right? And which is why I do a newsletter, because I think it's not just, I wanted to introduce people to businesses they maybe even haven't heard of. And there's so many people doing so many cool things out there that I had nothing about. And so I just think it's always great, always great to kind of do different things and give people different information about things they may not even know even existed.
Yeah. And I love that. Like you said, there's so many people out there that are doing things that I don't even know about. I love meeting those people, right? Yeah. Because then my curiosity grows, and then I start asking questions. And I know lots of times they look at me like, do you really want to ask me these questions? But sometimes I'm like, I get curious. I'm like, what exactly does that mean? And how can I put that into my life? Or how can I, bring it into someone else's life somehow, some way?
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And I find it interesting to meet with people who are not, you can be like-minded and not be the same. And I think some people don't grasp that concept, right? The young lady I was talking to this morning is a very different person than I am. We energetically, we like just seem to connect, but we're very, very different people. But I enjoy different perspectives, and it makes you, it honestly, it gets you to think harder. And I think that that's a good thing, right? Because we get complacent if we stay still, and getting uncomfortable is the best thing you can do for yourself, because that's where growth happens, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So many people are just go on with day to day. They go on about their routine, and then they're constantly complaining that, well, everything's the same. Well, that's because you don't do anything different.
Yeah. And as humans, I mean, we are creatures of habit, right? And so by the time we realize that we're stuck in a routine that's not working, it's been a long time.
100%.
Right. And so if you don't expand that boundary on the outside of your, your comfort zone, you're going to get deeper and deeper in that zone. And then next thing you know, and we see it a lot with older people, like the elderly, where they sort of push the new stuff away. Right. I see that with my mom a lot. She's like determined that I am not about to change. Like I can't change. I'm old. And because she's always said, we're creatures of habit, she doesn't even realize herself how the habits that she lives right now were formed at one time. And she hasn't been doing that since she was a child.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have to, like, we're in charge of whatever change happens.
100%.
Right. And so if we don't allow that change, and it doesn't have to be big, gigantic steps, it can be baby steps, right? A little bit at a time. I don't know if you've ever read Atomic Habits, but, he talks about stacking and, it's just adding one small thing to.
I haven't read it, but I've got the Audible. And
it's a really good read.
Yeah. So every time I, when I go to bed at night or I'm sitting here working on something, I always have a podcast on. So I've listened to that book probably 50 times.
Because everybody's talking about it, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get
it. And it is. It's like forming new habits is hard. It really is. And I find myself falling back into habits. And it's just having ADHD. Let me tell you, I will meet somebody. I always remember a face. I am horrible with names, but I could probably tell you what you were wearing the last time I saw you.
So you're very visual. Yes, you're very visual. I love that. That's super cool. That's super cool. I used to remember names quite well.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, they just go right over my head. I don't know if that's age or if that's, I got too much stuff to organize in my brain is sometimes what I think.
This is what I tell my husband all the time, because he always tells me that I'm not listening to him. So I quite literally have been seeing a hypnotist to work on my listening.
Oh.
And I know it sounds silly.
Not at all.
But honestly, like, just as somebody with ADHD, it's really hard to focus sometimes.
I believe
so it's not that I'm not listening, but there's the little hamster in my little brain is on constantly.
And there's so many distractions. Yeah, I get that. Now so you and I have met through Womanish, and we actually haven't met in person, but we've been in the same room.
I was going to say, I've seen you across the room, and I don't think we've actually, had a conversation.
Yeah, we've never actually met, but we've been in the same room. Yeah. And I didn't even realize this until you and I had our first meet and greet, that you run the photo booths, and that and I would think that they're super cool. So, I mean, clearly you use these as tools to meet people, to get to know them and to connect them. Yeah.
For sure.
So tell me what, I'm going to call them playful, right? Because everybody that comes to these booths, I mean, they're there they're playing, right? I mean, they're having fun. They want to enjoy themselves. What do you use these experiences as to teach about your visibility and confidence when you're talking with your other, I guess, clients or whatever you're working with?
That play is so important, right? Like, I was always a Barbie girl growing up, which is why I love fashion. And Mr. Dress Up was like always on TV for me.
Oh my gosh, I love Mr. Dress Up.
Like, literally, I have a tickle trunk, right? So it's just, if there's a costume party, I am in. Like, always in. You need a costume? Contact me. Chances are I got something you can use.
Oh, I love that. I loved Mr. Dress Up. I went to see him. I was an adult. Like, I think I was close to 40 when I went to see him.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, I saw him as a child, but always just instilled that curiosity, right? Like, be able to have fun. And I think that's what I love about this business, is we constantly get to have fun. And as you age, you don't go out as much. So this gets me out on a Friday or a Saturday night, and it's either you make money or you spend money on the weekend. I'd rather make it, and I still get to have fun, right? So we were at the Superlative Awards last weekend, and oh my God, like, just so much fun. The pictures were incredible. People always have a great time. Actually, we ended up with five 5-star reviews the next day, which was
wow.
So it was just like, it just fills my heart so much, because I love what I do. I absolutely love doing the photo booth. I love bringing people joy. And especially, you go to a boring conference. What a fun way. Like, it just adds something fun. Even,
Yeah.
even with a Christmas party, we're usually busier than the dance floor, right? So,
Wow.
so you're doing something right. And the same thing. It's just like, oh, you bring like such incredible energy. And it's like, well, that's what it's about, right?
That's,
Then
yeah.
knowing what poses to do. And so it just, and it's confidence boosting. Because everyone's like, wow, I look really good. I'm like, right? And if you
Yeah.
don't, guess what? We could take another one, right?
Yeah, and you have props, right? Like you always
Totally.
have those silly glasses and yeah. So I
Totally.
mean, like that's an opportunity for you to like let go and have fun. And at a party, like you're
Yeah.
usually drinking, right?
Totally.
So you don't have a glass of wine, relax a little bit,
Well,
and
I
then
think
go
that's
take a
the best
picture.
part about our booths too, is that you can text message yourself a link, and then you can look back at all the photos that were taken all night, because they're a whole lot more prim and proper at the beginning than they are at the end.
Oh, yes, they are.
So,
I love that.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great idea.
yeah. And I
Oh,
do
that
lots,
is a great idea.
lots of conferences. I Because of my connection with the senior community, I don't burn bridges either. That's just not something that I
No.
do.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I would rather walk away with grace. Trust me, there's bridges I've wanted to burn, but I haven't, because at the end of the day, that's a reflection on you, not on them. And so, you walk away and you just
Yeah,
smile.
and that's also something I always tell my kids that too, right? Like you never know when that person or
No,
those people are going to come back into your life and you don't know what you might need from them or they might need you and you need to have their trust, right? On either way. You never know, right? I agree with you.
no. So, so anyways, it's just about just being that person who can let water run off their back and go, you know what? This happened. What was the lesson? Because there's always a lesson. So take that lesson and now try and do things better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I love that. So now often women feel disconnected from, like traditional marketing, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even really know how to market themselves. How can us women promote our work in ways that feel aligned, human, and heart centered? Because I mean that's kind of what we all want.
So I always go with the 4 pillars. So my four pillars are promotion, because no one wants to see ads that are buy for me, buy for me, buy for me constantly.
Right.
Right. So that's one part of it. Then you want to entertain people. So something funny, something inspirational, right? So having a quote or something that means something to you. So you want to convey that meaning, and you don't want to just convey the meaning to you. What is the meaning to your customer? So I always come through. I think that's why my marketing resonates so well with people, is that I'm able to speak in their voice to their clients in a way that resonates with them. And so I would love to tell somebody how to do that, but really just be authentic. And I know I keep using that word, but really and truly, that's what people connect with. People are doing business with you because they like you. They they may not even need your product. They're buying your product or promoting your product because of you. You
Yeah.
are your brand at the end of the day. And so that's just so important. And then
Yeah.
that storytelling aspect, putting yourself out there. And it's not comfortable. I still don't like, and I do it all the time. Hello, beautiful people. It's Carrie the Connector here, right? Like, it's just that's how I started everything. And it doesn't have to be this big audacious thing. It can just be, hey, you know what? I just got off the phone with this client and I helped them do this. If
Yeah.
something that you think you need help with, contact me. Or if you know somebody who needs help with this, contact me, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right. I think it's, just be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Ask your real question.
Yeah.
Don't pussyfoot, right? Like just
No,
ask me what you really want to know and I will do my absolute best to give you the answer that I have.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
And there's the education piece. People love being educated. I
Yeah.
love learning about like new health products, or, oh, I didn't know that the blue light glasses were a thing, or is that actually a thing, right? So it's like, and then it I always like being prompted to make further investigation. And I think that's probably, as much as I like the marketing, I love the research part of it too,
Absolutely.
because I get to know things, right?
Yeah,
I know sometimes that can come across as a know-it-all, but it's like, no, I just like knowing about different things. So
exactly.
help more people.
Right. And like you said, okay, now the blue light on the glasses, that's been around for
Yeah.
quite a while now.
Yeah.
But things are always changing. I remember when the polarized lenses came out. I
Yeah.
know that we're talking probably
Yeah.
15, 20
Yeah.
years ago now.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking to myself when they showed me the difference, I'm like, why haven't I heard of this before?
Yeah.
Right. And so, that goes with every product that's out there. When you learn of something new, and we know, like with our phones now, there's new apps all the time.
Yep.
Share, if you learned something new today, share it with the person that you're sitting beside at lunch or on the bus or wherever you are, right?
Yeah.
You heard about this new app? Did you know we could do this on our phone now? There's nothing wrong with that. If somebody doesn't want to hear about it, they'll say, well, yeah, thank you for letting me know. Right.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
like share your knowledge. I'm really,
I know. I annoy the crap out of my husband because he's like, I don't think that person cared about blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, I might have been the only person that engaged that person in conversation today.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. It's funny that you say that. My daughter was at the gym this morning and she sent me a message and she said, this older man just came up to me and told me that I was showing too many body parts and something else. Oh, that he couldn't get motivated today. And I said, and she was like kind of down on herself. She was wearing sweatpants and a long sleeve t-shirt. Right. And I was like, he's clearly triggered by something that you either did or didn't do. Right. And he needed someone to see him and hear him. Right.
Yeah.
Often, that's people need that.
But what a great way to look at things. Right. And I think that's what I'm always thinking about. Look at it, put the shoe on the other foot. And that's really hard for a lot of people to do because I don't know. You watch people drive out there. Everybody's very self-centered these days.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
About me and then me and then me and then me.
Yeah. I'm the only one that's in a hurry. I'm
Right?
the only one who has to get anywhere.
And
yeah.
it's just, hey, you don't know that person just got the news that they lost their mom. So their mind wasn't on that. Or that person this just happened to that person. Like you have no idea what's going on in someone's life. So like I'm not a person who writes somebody off right away because sometimes someone's just having a bad day. So maybe after the third interaction, if they're still a jerk, well, then maybe they're just a jerk, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly.
3 chances.
Yeah, totally. Now, as we're moving into 2026, what are some of the shoulds that you need to let go of and have let go of? And how did you kind of open space inside you to allow more self-trust and self-creativity?
I'm really trying to just, figure out things a little bit clearer. So being more vulnerable and being curious, taking bold steps, imperfect steps. They don't have to be perfect steps. And letting go of that perfectionism because I'm a firstborn child. So I'm a people pleaser and I like things to be perfect. I've really struggled with that for years. And then even just and then I expect people to act like I act because it's logical and it makes sense. But that's not how life works. And so I've really kind of taken a bold step to let things go a little and not be so, I have to do this, I should do this, I should do that. You know what? Like my mom cleans her house every Sunday. And I said to Mom, nobody's going to stand up at your funeral and go, she had such a clean house. Because I can tell you, I clean, but my house is not organized. I always have something going in and out, especially with the photo booth business. And I honestly, sometimes it bothers me, but at the end of the day, you know what? I have a great relationship with my husband. I have a cute little dog who you might hear snoring beside me, sleeping on the bed across from me. And life's just about enjoying it, right? So my husband and I don't have lots of bad habits. We're not really big drinkers. We don't smoke. We're not big partiers. So we spend money on vacations. We love going and exploring things, right? So that's what I do too. And so I'm really just trying to concentrate more on making sure that my home life is my priority.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you have a good home life, then your work life can be improved or just as good, right? And vice versa, right?
Well,
like,
and yeah. And then just having those boundaries to be like, I'm not working Sundays. Or like I talked to a girl yesterday too, and she's like, you know what? My phone goes off after 4 o'clock. The only reason you're getting hold of me is because I'm on my way to get food. I was like, fair. I'm like, that's a good habit, right?
Yeah.
It's like I try and work while my husband's out of the house, and he leaves at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm often up working then. Sometimes I'm up at 4:30 working because I just find my creative brain works really well between about 4:30 and 6:30, as weird as that is. So I do a lot of batch content at that time. And then just work on other things throughout the day. It's like, okay, I've got this event coming up. Okay, I've got to have this stuff ready. I have 2 photo booths this weekend on the same day. So I've got to be really organized. Okay, I'm setting up one on Friday, got everything ready for that. And then, okay, we're going to use the same booth. So how can I make that work, right?
Right. Yeah, and that, you have to be prepared for that.
Totally,
right?
totally. And I have multiple booths.
In your pants.
I really like this booth and what it's doing right now. So it's kind of my upgrade for my client.
Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. Love that. So when your life or your business is feeling out of alignment, what kind of practices help you sort of realign with your why? And we all know that, right? We all know that. Yeah. You have to know that when we get into business, and also help you kind of reconnect with what is really, truly important.
You know what? I usually put more into my networking when I get to that point, because I think, you know what? I'm missing something or someone, and this is a great way to do it. So
that's an awesome answer. I actually really like that.
And putting myself in different networking situations. So not with people I always network with. So sometimes like shaking things up a little, because again, things get stale sometimes. So sometimes like sitting with different people, right? Because even women-ish, you tend to like, oh, you know who your people are, but it's really important to sit with somebody new. Or I'll find somebody new there and like, oh, who are you? What do you do? Oh, how can I connect you? Let's have a coffee. Let's see what we could do together, right? Like, and it's not necessarily that we're going to do business together, but I just want to help that person succeed. It's just part of who I don't know. I said, my name is Carrie for a reason. I care, right? Like,
aww.
I really truly believe that I am in service to others. That's why I was put on this earth. And so that's me fulfilling my purpose, is just being able to help others.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, I mean, I think you kind of answered it in one way or another, but if you could offer one message to the women standing on the edge of reinvention right now, what would you say as they start their own like beginning of me chapter?
Write down your goals and decide what your non-negotiables are, and make sure that you stick to your boundaries. If that's something I haven't learned yet, and I'm still do that because I still allow some people to bend those boundaries, I really think that that's probably the biggest thing that will give you the most amount of success.
Yeah. And with that, I mean, you don't necessarily mean like, you know, it's an absolute no every single time someone asks you for something. It's more about, you know, that doesn't fit into my world right now. It's going to have to be a no.
Absolutely. Or, and I always take no's. They're a no for now, right? So they're not a no forever. And I probably got into that habit having worked in the fundraising field, because sometimes it was a no, but it's just no right now.
Yeah.
I can ask later. Maybe I can ask in a different way or a different person, and I might get that yes. But don't look at, as you're getting into things, you just don't make money your focus, because as soon as you make money your focus, you will always be running towards it.
Right. And then you lose.
It's not your focus. It makes a huge difference. So don't worry about the money. It will come. Just be yourself.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course.
And I really look forward to actually like talking to you in a room.
Yes.
Hopefully that will be happening soon.
I was going to say, are you coming to Ammunition on Tuesday?
I am. Yes. So maybe that'll be the day.
I will be there, and I will be sporting some fashions on the runway.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Carrie.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for tuning into Confidence in Bloom. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Carrie as much as I did. And I hope that you're reminded that you're not alone on this journey and that your confidence grows every time you tell that itty bitty shitty committee to hush. If you're ready to take this even deeper, I'd love to invite you to the Bloom Room, a nurturing community where women come together to release self-doubt, reconnect with themselves, and bloom into the truest versions of who they are meant to be. Until next time, remember, confidence isn't something you find, it's something that blooms from within.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.